What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Fatboy FadeAway Podcast. We're here end of September, Sunday morning, 7 o'clock with Tyler McGurk again. What's up, T? How we doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Week 3 NFL this week. Last week, it was a lot of good games last week. Got the NBA Finals looking like they're taking shape finally. End of Major League Baseball coming up. A lot of stress for me. We were just talking about before we went on about my fantasy baseball and how much I overthink it and overstress it, and I'm like I'm talking to like Nick about it the other day because he's the gambling math guy. He's just like, dude, you got to chill out. You got to relax. So he's like, because I had this one loss in fantasy football like 3 years ago. I'm sure we've all had bad beats, right? Or you just have a bad loss and it sticks with you. And I had one like about 8 years ago, playing my cousin's wife, Rachel, in fantasy football last week on Monday night. I'm up by like 70 points, and she's got 3 Vikings going. She's got like Brett Favre, Adrian Peterson, and Vasanti Fashenko, I believe his name was pronounced.
That was his name.
And she ended up beating me by half a point to win the $500 for the league. So I think ever since that moment, I've always been like, all right, what's the worst case scenario that could happen to play out? You know what I mean? Or something like that. So to make that thing even worse is I remember in that game, I was down 2.5 points at that point, but the game went into overtime. And to make things worse, Adrian Peterson fumbled. So I lost by half a point instead of 2.5. That's what I remember the most about that. And I was like, I already lost. And then just put a little bit more salt in the wound there. He decided to fumble, and I lost by half a point. So I always thought that was a funny one. But man, I'm definitely stressed out about it for sure because I just want to win. But it's like
back to back. You'll be 2 in a row.
The gambling is stressful, man. We've been doing it here for the podcast. You had a better week last week. I had a better week. We're still under 500. But for you, that's 2 wins more. So you got to take that in the right direction.
So there's a questionable in week 1 but
yes, but we're gonna have to go with it's already in the book.
We'll go,
right? That's
yeah.
So, anyways, we'll get into that a little bit here in a little bit, but let's get into it. Let's get into the NFL a little bit here, and we got week 3 starting up. But before we look at week 3, let's go back and look at week 2. We talked about going into last week the Niners Jets. It was a must-win game for the Niners.
They handled them easily.
Handled the business. I'm looking at the injury report going into today, and we got Jimmy G out, Kittle, Bosa, Debo, Mostert, Coleman, Coleman, Sherman, and Ford. Some decent players.
It's a who's who of the Niners.
A decent amount of players that are out. So, that's not a good thing. But they did take care of business last week. You got the Jets. Which they should have. They still just crushed them. The Jets are. And they're looking Raiders-esque there. They're looking Raiders-esque from about 8 years ago.
They have no threat.
Good old Aaron Brooks days. So they just didn't. So it'd be interesting how the Niners play today. So let's preview that one a little bit here early. I was talking to Brian on the phone yesterday, and Brian, he's Mr. Optimistic. He's like, we're getting nothing to worry about. We still have one of the best coaches in the league and stuff. But my thing with the game today is, I don't see how I'm going to pick you'll find out later, but in the spread, I'm going to have the Giants pick. The Niners are favored by 3.5 points, but I just feel like the Niners have so many guys out. And I don't feel like the Giants are nearly as bad as like the Jets are. Like, I think the Jets are just like in a complete like dumpster fire at this point. I think the Giants still have a little bit more pride. And, their quarterback is at least like – I feel like he's a little bit better than Darnold too for some reason. I just kind of like him a little bit more. They don't have Barkley, but I don't know. It's just a hunch of mine that I'm going to go with the Niners in our picks later. But just for the game's sake of it, how are you feeling about today's game? It kind of just seems like a little bit of a trap.
The good news is they're playing the Giants, and they didn't – they went to West Virginia, I think, so they didn't really travel much.
Yeah.
Between games, so they should be – fine there as far as the players that are healthy. I'm not too worried. I think the Niners should just manhandle them on the front line. Like, their O-line's still fine, and that's the strength of the team. And McKinnon actually looked really good last week. when he did
Yeah,
play.
and this is the other thing. Remember all the hype Nick Mullins was getting. So here's the choice. The backup quarterback gets the most love, right?
Yeah, he's always the most loved player on the team.
What did you say their record was? What didn't you say they had a season with him?
Already? Well,
Or at least a few games.
Beathard played like 3 of the games. Jimmy played 3 of the games, and their final record was 3-13.
And Mullins out of Oregon, right? Isn't he out of Oregon, I believe, too? Yeah, Nick Mullins, isn't he out of Oregon?
Maybe like Southern Oregon or something. CJ Beathard's out of Iowa.
Iowa. And he was the one that got lit up so many times, right?
Oh, God. Taking a beating. But Mullins, I liked Mullins. I mean, Kittle had his greatest career day with Nick Mullins. It's not.
I kind of trust Shanahan.
I trust Shanahan to create plays that get guys open. Like, Juszczyk on a, like, halfback stretch right play action, and Juszczyk sneaks out the left, and he's open for 40 yards. And, okay, that sets up 3 points. And I think the Giants just suck. I disagree with you on them, and the Jets are both pathetic, especially without Barkley.
That's true. I don't know. I guess it's a hunch. Just maybe the Niners taking a beating or something like that. Maybe they'll come out with the opposite approach. But they also have, like, good players out. So I'm also, I feel like, okay, well, what if it is realistic that Mullins doesn't play that well? So, and I don't know. I'm just kind of a hunch. Obviously, they could still win, and the Giants could still cover the spread, but that's what I'm going with there on that one. I just kind of think that I don't know. I just think that the Giants. It's a good chance for them to pull off the upset. It would be a tough loss for the Niners. You don't want to go. This is when you saw the Jets and Giants on the schedule. That was what you were counting as 2 wins for sure.
They have a tough schedule too this year. They were given an easy start to the schedule, and then
it's got.
But it gets
tough. It's going to pick up for them. Well, and their division's really tough. So, I mean, like, they're going to play, like, 6 games. I mean, there's literally a chance every team in that division can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
Now with 7 teams making the playoffs, that's we'll see what happens. So, other stuff in week 2 just wanted to touch on was I thought the Raiders looked pretty good after the second, middle of the second quarter on against the Saints. Everybody's kind of jumping on the Saints a little bit this week about, Breeze kind of being done, him only throwing like short passes and stuff like that. I'm a little not ready to. I'm not saying he's still got it, but I'm not. Without Michael Thomas, it's really hard for me to like completely judge him on that part of it because I mean Michael Thomas is one of the 2 best wide receivers in the NFL, so I don't want to jump on that one too quickly. So that one jumped out to me. I thought, and the other thing I was kind of more. Go ahead.
The thing about New Orleans is Breeze used to do it with no receivers before. Like, he'd be playing with Willie Snead and who was the other little guy who was I can't think of his name right now. But he
Willie
did it.
Yeah. Oh, Darren Sproles.
Yeah, like Sproles, and it was always run after cat. I mean, they'd hit the big plays like Ted Ginn and.
He was accurate down the field still a lot more.
Yeah, but, I mean, they don't have – that's what I'm saying. That's why maybe it is Drew Brees losing the thing a little bit on his fastball.
Yeah,
because he's done it without weapons before. But I'm not ready to bury him. We'll see.
Is he still a top 10 quarterback? So who's the top 10 quarterback then? Who do we have? We have Wilson, Jackson, Mahomes, Rodgers. Right? Is Brady even is he in the top 10 anymore, Breeze? You have Roethlisberger, right? That's 5.
I mean, would
you take Newton?
Yeah.
Newton, that's 6, right? Newton 6, and then you're probably taking who's the other guy you're probably taking
Watson.
You're taking Watson, so he's there.
Kyler
Murray, Prescott. And you're probably taking Tannehill?
No, I'm not taking
Not
Tannehill.
Not yet.
Josh Allen, maybe?
Maybe him too. All right, so you got that one. And then the other one I wanted to get your opinion on.
But Breeze is right there. And
I wish I would have had Adam for this one. Is that Patriots play call. That was a good game. And, man, a killer on my spread last week. I was like, I had the Patriots at 3, and they don't get that 2-point conversion. And then they got to go. And then they drive it all the way down at the end when it looks like they're going to lose. And then I don't know about you, but that had to be one of the worst play calls. I mean, we ripped on that fullback smash from the Panthers after week 1. I think Belichick's got to have one of the not so good calls there after week 2. I mean, why you saw the one I'm talking about, the goal line at the end. I mean, why do you get rid of the running back?
I disagree with you.
I disagree with you, but it's a power smash, and it's like as soon as you get rid of the running back, it's like, well, now we all know it's coming. Why not at least maybe do one of your fake jump passes or a little fake handoff, or I don't know. It just seems too obvious to me.
I mean, they ran the same play like 5 times, and it worked easily every time except for that one. So they're probably like, all right, if we execute, we can get in. We have the best running short yardage guy in the league. Let's just have 10 blockers, and Cam will take on the one.
There's something I don't like about – I mean, yes, you're right. When it works, obviously great, but it's like a desperate moment. I just feel like – I don't know. That just isn't – to me, that's not a very good play call. I would have felt better with anything else. A handoff. I don't know.
No, you would. If they handed the ball off, you would have ripped it.
Like a fake handoff. Like
okay,
a fake handoff or something like that. That's what I'm referring to. I just think that was a stupid play call. I'm surprised you thought it was a good play call.
Put the ball in your best player's hands. Cam was their best player, and it wasn't even close. And it worked 4 times previously. So I'm not going to rip on something that worked 4 times in a row.
I don't remember 4 times.
It didn't work. So Cam had 3 rushing touchdowns, I believe, and then he did one earlier at the 20 from 31.
Where they took the shotgun out though like that and moved the running back out to the side like that. Yeah, because to me that's what ruined the play is when you have like that. When you take that running back away, it's just like, well, duh, now we know what's happening. So like on every level, there's literally no surprise whatsoever. So it was that was I thought that was a pretty bad play call. So, but I'm glad you thought it was a good play call.
It didn't work, so it wasn't a good play call. But I'm not going to rip it for.
Give me something else, Bill, on that one. I will say after that game, though, I saw Bill Belichick's press conference the other day, and that's part of the reason I'm wearing this sweatshirt is in Bill Belichick's honor, is he had all these holes and old, ugly sweatshirts. Did you see what he came at him at his press conference this week? So he came out with like this sweatshirt where it looks like it got eaten by bugs everywhere, and he looks like he probably got off the plane and has just been watching video all week of Derek Carr since he was in middle school. And he's just like focused. Like I would be scared if I'm the Raiders this week.
That's probably what he did all week.
He probably lost and just was like watching Josh Jacobs videos from middle school and just everything like possible, and is ready to absolutely destroy the Raiders on every level. So I'm sure between him and John Gruden, they saw their wives for about a total of 10 minutes all week. But they never saw each other all week. Yeah, but you gotta check out Bill Belichick, man. His sweatshirt's insane. It's just old and I mean, like beyond ratty. It's just like nasty. So it cracks me up a little bit. So week 2, those are a few things. So I want to fake or make week 2, and what I mean by that is, tell me I'm going to name you some of the 2-0 teams. Give me the 2-0 team that we think is fake. Who's the one that's not, who's not the real one here. So 2-0, we got Bills, Raiders, Chiefs, Ravens, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, Packers, and Bears. So who's the fake team out of those ones? Who's the ones that I feel we both
obvious one's the Bears.
Yeah. But are the Bears going to have that magic season, like that one team? Like the Niners to me were the obvious team to regress in the NFC. There's always that one team that just naturally regresses for injuries, and they seem the team that's going to probably on the verge of that should be in the playoffs. That's going to probably miss
like
the
this
playoffs.
whole ripping the Niners.
Well, I'm going to just keep ripping the
have.
Niners. Yeah, Brian, I'm going to just rip all the Niners and keep it real. Yeah. I think they're the team that's going to be screwed this year.
I think the Raiders are a little overblown at 2-0.
I would agree. What do we think of the Cardinals, though?
Steelers, I'm a little worried, but I don't know if they're. I mean, you'll see my picks. I picked them again.
All right. And we got the Bills. I'm kind of questioning still because of Allen. I don't know what it is. It's just hard to trust that guy. Hard to trust him fully.
Yeah. I mean, they almost blew that game, and then.
And then who are the 0-2? Who are the 0-2 teams that we think could rebound? Do you think the Eagles could bounce back?
They're better than 0-2. They should have won the first week and against the Redskins, and they choked.
And then we got the Vikings 0-2. They're the biggest surprise, but they have stunk the last.
They've looked awful,
and they actually have some like kind of talent on their team. You know what I mean? Some like actual like blue chippers. So I think the Giants then were 0-2. I mean, I think we both think the Lions aren't bouncing back at all. What do we think about the Falcons? That was the team I was thinking possibly that could, because just their offense is so loaded that's a team I could see possibly bouncing back from 0-2.
They're one of those teams that has to get on it. I feel like has to start off hot and sort of.
And then maybe this favors you. You picked in our MVP segment. You picked Deshaun Watson at the beginning of the year, and they're 0-2 as well.
Well, I don't know how that favors me, but
maybe you have to get hot.
But they're just without Hopkins. I didn't know how much of a factor that'd make.
So do we? He's unreal. So what 0-2 has two team has a chance, I guess, to come back? I think it's the Vikings.
No, I don't. The Vikings are dead in my opinion.
That's the team
Cousins. I would put it on the Eagles.
It's hard to trust Cousins.
I'm not trusting Cousins. I'd trust Wentz. Even though Wentz says like he makes these stupid passes.
Yo, remember how like it's funny how
he was the MVP.
He would have been MVP.
He had that Derek Carr. Like Derek Carr would have probably won the MVP of the year. He got hurt. It's very similar to how their
seasons ended up and how they've kind of moved forward a little bit
from it.
That's true. Yeah. That changed. That you're right. The Wentz deal is a weird one because he was so like close to that MVP, and then it's like, he'd be a top 5 player I'd take overall. To now, I don't even know.
He's almost number 1
quarterback. Yeah, exactly. So,
and speaking of like quarter backups being the fan favorites, like I bet people are wanting Jalen Hurts to play now, and like it's like so.
Oh my gosh, that's already calling for the backup at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, so what did you talk to Frankie about the Cowboys game?
I was with him yesterday or that Sunday.
How was he? I mean, that had to be that had to be crazy.
He was depressed like the whole first half. And then he didn't even watch the onside kick. We were watching it and he was like doing something on his phone and he's like, "What? They got the ball. Onside kicks never work." And speaking of just bad coach, like do something. Don't just watch the ball slowly dribble towards 10 yards.
All you have to do is kick it. Bat
it out of bounds.
Kick it out of bounds. Just kick it.
Even if you kick it out
the old, kick it.
Yeah, it was just. Well, you're not allowed.
All you have to do is touch it.
15-yard penalty, but you'd still at least get the ball. That's all that matters.
That's all I'm saying. Throw your helmet at it, for gosh sake. Take your helmet off of it. What do you think of the coach, Anna? Is that
when they made that kick, he was.
Come on, he had to be fired up.
Oh, he was gassed. He
had to be like he probably was confused too.
He was gassed. He was happy. He's like, "Oh, Zerline, good. That's good that he made that kick for the future," and he was stoked.
Man, I was thinking the Falcons. That's 2 tough choke jobs there in recent years. That's 2 tough ones right there. It's Super Bowl and that one. Those are the odds are pretty much against you in those
Yeah, that coach isn't lasting through the year.
And they were 0-2. I mean, it's funny because they have like the offensive names too: Matt Ryan, Gurley, Jones. So this is definitely a big week for them. They have to win this week.
Ridley's been unreal.
Yeah, he has been. He's been really good. That's kind of a weird game this week. Bears and Falcons. Then kind of like you kind of would think the Falcons would win that because the Bears shouldn't be 2-0 and the Falcons shouldn't be 0-2. So that's kind of the week 3 things I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit. The Cowboys again. They play the Seattle today. They do have a knack for playing close games. I do give them that.
Those are the games. I feel like Cowboys show up. They're like big games. Like little games, I expect them to they'll choke. But big games, like against when New Orleans was undefeated 5 years ago. I remember and they beat them in New Orleans and I'm
sure they'll show up again today. I would think a little bit because they better, or Wilson's going to probably pick them apart. So getting into that a little bit, I was thinking after week 3, I wanted to give you the MVP odds and just kind of what it's at, who's your favorite to keep going. At the beginning, like I said, are you going to stick with Deshaun Watson? You got to change it a little bit here. So Vegas has Wilson's the favorite at 270, and then we got Jackson and Mahomes at 2-3 at plus 500, Rodgers at 4 at 1100, Murray at 5, and then we got at 6. At 6 we have Prescott, 7 Cam Newton, 8 Roethlisberger, 9 Watson, 10 Tom Brady. So that's the list they have out there for MVP odds. I picked Mahomes at the beginning of the year. Obviously, I'm going to stick with him still to make it, but Wilson's obviously having a pretty crazy year when you almost have more touchdowns than incompletions.
Well, Wilson looks like the favorite, but Mahomes is right, and Jackson are just can have those games. So
how about Murray though?
If I were to bet, I would bet on just on the odds, like plus whatever. I'm guessing Cam's at like plus 650 or plus.
He's plus 350.
350? That's less than I thought, but I would still take Cam based on because I know he's going to get the ball.
Plus 300. Yeah. So I think he's the guy. Cam would be a good one to put money on because if you put like 40 down, you're getting you're making a good amount or something like that off of that.
But you mentioned Kyler. He was.
Yeah, I think he's kind of good odds too.
He's special.
Yeah. Let's talk about him for a second because last year he kind of struggled a little bit. I thought watching him, he just wasn't very consistent in the pocket or something like that. But this year, but the other thing that I didn't like about him as much last year is I thought he was going to be a little bit more explosive running, like just a little bit more dynamic than he was.
I agree.
This year, though, the first 2 games, he has some very special runs, like the ones like almost like he had at Oklahoma where it looks like you're playing against college players. Oh, yeah, he was. So it just means I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts on him. Like, I kind of like his odds. If I was 5 there, I'd say he has a good chance just based on his numbers he could produce, kind of the new guy in town type of stuff. And the Cardinals have a chance to be a sneaky division winner there.
Once again, Hopkins just changes things for teams. I think he's the best receiver in the NFL now.
Yeah, well, you could catch the ball and juke 5 guys.
He's just unbelievable.
Yeah, you're right. That one's really helped a lot. So I like Murray at that one right there. The one I kind of thought was interesting was that they had Rodgers at 4. I know he's off to a good start. It kind of showed you where he's kind of bouncing back, and maybe the Packers drafting that rookie was a good thing. Maybe pissed him off a little bit, got him like refocused a little bit, less. So like if you think about it, like these guys are all human beings still, and I think we kind of forget about because they make so much money a little bit. But like if you still, but they get to that spot because they're competitive SOBs. So if you give him a legitimate reason to light a fire up, maybe at the end of the day he doesn't want to sign with him in 2 years, but. We're talking about performing at your highest level. Like, this is going to make him perform, right?
But that's why you draft that quarterback, too. So you say, screw you, I don't care if you don't want to sign in 2 years.
Yeah, and that's a good point. But I know Green Bay was taking a lot of slack for it at the time, but I didn't think it was a bad pick at the time because sometimes I think that is necessary for your best player. And I think Rodgers was at that point in his career where he did need a little wake me up, don't you? Didn't it feel a little sleepy a little bit?
I mean, it did feel
like you yawning there.
I mean, they did make the NFC Championship game last year. No, not NFC Championship. Yeah, NFC Championship game last year. So it's not like they were.
No, but he wasn't as like electric as
he wasn't looking as
wasn't
dynamic.
As special.
But he said
he looked a little like over it with the coaches a little bit. He just kind of his demeanor. I mean, he's always been a little rough like that, but it just seemed like a little bit more than his usual. And I don't know. Sometimes when you draft a guy, probably just how Joe Montana felt with Steve Young there. Probably raised his game, if anything. So I think we're going to get the best of Rodgers the rest of this year.
They traded for Steve.
The other one I thought was kind of funny is Brady was still on there at plus 4,000, top 10. I don't even think Brady's a top 10 quarterback anymore. So I'm kind of surprised.
Plus 4,000?
Yeah.
And Cam's only at plus 350?
3,500. So, yeah, I think he's that's what I meant by 350 is that he was 3,500. So I think that's where I kind of think Brady shouldn't be on that top 10 if it was up to me. So I thought that was interesting, the MVP odds there.
Yeah, but Vegas takes in name account too. Like
they do.
Just,
I know.
Like,
and that's why I kind of like the Murray thing at 5. If I was going to go, and I like the Cam because the name effect there possibly at 7. Somebody that could get into the and playing for the Patriots. All right, so let's get into our picks from last week a little bit. We had you were on fire last week. You got 2 wins.
2-3. That's a 200%. A 200% improvement.
Nice bounce back. I went 2-3. I had a couple tough losses. That Patriots one was a killer. I had the Patriots at -3, and then they didn't get the 2-point conversion, and they lose by 5. And then they had the touchdown, or the 1-yard run that maybe why I hate the play call even more is I would have won that bet if they get the damn touchdown there. So I lost that one, and then I lost the over under. I had the Chiefs and the Chargers. I had the over there, and they finished up under. And then I also lost the Falcons and the Cowboys. I had the under at 56. They went way over, so that was a horrible bet on my part on that one there. So I did win 2. Casey had the best record. He's at 4-1, but he's not going to do it this week. And then we had the silent assassin, aka Nicholas Charles at 3-2. So right now we're doing pretty good. You're back in the race a little bit. Nick's ahead after last week percentage wise. So let's get our picks this week. I'm going to give you Nick's first. Okay. So Nick's got the Giants at +4 over the Bears. Or it's actually the line is actually 3. So we're going to go
you said the Giants.
Or no, excuse me, not the Giants. The Giants over the Niners. Sorry.
Yeah.
Over the Niners.
At what? +4?
At +4.
I have it at 3.5.
That's what I did too. I think he was looking at he was looking at the ones from earlier in the week. So I'm going to go with that one from 3.5. He's got that.
Change it to 3.5.
Yeah, I am. And then we also got the Chargers he's got the Chargers at 6.5 against the Panthers. The Chargers are at home there. I know Nick was really loving Mr. Herbert there, so I think he's right in that train there a little bit. He's also got the Steelers and Texans at under the numbers 45 there. So he's got Steelers, Texans under there. And then he's got the Bills, Rams over at 47. And then he's got the Patriots over the Raiders. He's taking the Patriots in the -6 there. So again, he's got the Giants 3.5. Chargers
I have that
at
one at
6.5.
6.5.
Patriots at 6.5. And then the Steelers and Texans over under. He's got the Texans at the under, and he's got the Bills Rams at the over. So you have which one at 6.5?
The Patriots.
The one I sent you, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if he must have been.
I looked at it this morning. Maybe that's why it changed. It changed over time.
Yeah. So we're going on the one from Friday. We're going based on Friday. So, but yeah, he has it at 6.5. So it was 6 earlier.
Okay. We should look at it all at the same time then.
Well, I did send it out to everybody on Friday.
Well, I'm not okay. I didn't look at it until I made my picks. I'm not looking at it when I don't make my picks.
So what do we do about that then?
I guess you get it where you pick it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's where it is. So all right, you go with, or I'll go with mine now. So I got Minnesota at +3 over Tennessee. So I'm going to take Minnesota there. I'm going to take the Bills and the Rams also. I'm going to take the over at 47. I'm going with I don't like doing the over and under anymore. I've realized that as much, but I feel like that Rams and Bills game, I feel like that could be a decently high scoring game. So at 47, I think that's a good chance to go over there. Atlanta versus the Bears. I'm taking Atlanta as well at +3. So I'm taking Atlanta there. And then I'm going to take the Giants as well against the Niners. I like them to cover as the underdog there. And then my final game, I'm going to go with Green Bay and New Orleans. I'm going to go New Orleans is favored by 3.5, but I'm going to take Green Bay. So I'm going to get the points and take Green Bay there. So those are my 5 games. I got Minnesota, Atlanta, Giants, Green Bay, and I got the over with the Rams and Bills. So Tyler, what do you have for your picks there to finish it up here?
You avoided the Raiders this week.
I avoided the Raiders. It was the number at 6.5 was just not at 6. It just wasn't good enough. It's like, you know what I mean? I didn't like it. I was like, the Raiders could definitely lose by a touchdown. Down and like with Bill Belichick wearing that sweatshirt, like I said, it kind of scared me from staying away from that one. He looks like he's surely focused this week. Like if I lost, like as competitive as a human being that man is, I'm sure, like I said, he's grinding all week.
I'm not. I never questioned Bill's work ethic.
All right, let's see who you got.
All
Tyler,
right,
big week this week. 2-10 or 2-8. Everybody, can we do it?
All right. I got Pittsburgh at -4 over Houston.
All right, hold on. Let me get this down for you, Tyler. Pitt. Okay.
I took the Raiders at +6.5 over New England.
Taking the Raiders. I like it.
I took the Niners at +3.5 or -3.5.
All right.
Versus the New York Football Giants.
Okay.
I'm going to take the best football team in the league, Kansas City, getting 3.5 versus Baltimore.
I guess we'll find out.
And then I took
that was a tempting one.
The under on Cincinnati versus Philadelphia at 47.5.
Who was that? Cincy who?
Philly.
Philly, yeah. What do you think of the over-under?
I don't know. Some of them I feel like are easy.
They're tempting.
They're not easy. They're more glaring than the line. The lines I feel like are complete guesses that happen. Like, I don't know how this game's gonna go. Like,
I know they get tough sometimes like that. I found it. I like the Chiefs one that you took at 3.5 because anytime you're giving Mahomes 3.5 points, it's hard not.
Yeah, you're getting points and you have the best team in football. I'm not.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm with you on that one. That was the tempting one to go with. I just kind of wanted to go with Tennessee a little bit because obviously I just feel like Minnesota's not that bad. I just feel like they shouldn't be 0-2. I feel like they should be able to. They got to win a game here. And I say it's kind of my same theory with Atlanta and the Bears. I just like. Should the Bears really be 2-0 and should the Falcons be 0-2? You know what I mean? That's kind of my theory. Yeah. I'm just taking. So there's really no I'm not going to give you any statistical breakdown on that. It's just my theory on that for a while. It was like my theory for the longest time on NFC Championship, AFC, like who would make the Super Bowl because it worked
one away,
for like 7
home teams.
It would work that way forever, and I was like it would never. So I remember when the Raiders played the Titans in the AFC Championship at 0-1. The Buccaneers beat the Eagles at Philadelphia. I was like, well. We're in automatic. We're at home. I felt confident from that point on that we were going to win, and we did, but we lost the Super Bowl. So those are the picks for this week. Man, it's fun doing the picks though. It kind of makes the games a little bit more interesting for sure. It does.
Now
imagine
putting real money on it.
I still think that me and you should. I think it'd be fun if we each put like some money in and like just went in on with some picks just to kind of make the games more entertaining a little bit. I think it'd be fun just to
being 2-8. It doesn't make it very fun.
Well, not too. Maybe we don't go with your advice. Maybe we go with whoever's winning.
Then why the hell would I put money into it?
Well, you can still take other people's advice. You don't have to take your own to make money.
I don't like doing that.
Don't trust. You're making a business decision here. It's like investing in Microsoft, Tyler. That's what it's like.
You sound like those idiots on the ESPN on the radio who are like, "We never lose." Yeah, sure you never lose.
I'm not saying I don't ever lose. I'm just saying it's more fun that way to do it. But yes, I wouldn't take your instincts. Maybe go with somebody else if you're 2-8. But maybe it changes this week. Maybe you're
bounce back.
But you made a good point a few weeks ago. If you would have just known you were going to be wrong, you could have gone 5-0. So that's another way of looking at it. So I did like the way you pointed. I did like the way you pointed that.
I'm just as likely to go 5-0 as 0-5.
Who do you got fantasy sleeper this week?
J.K. Dobbins of the Ravens, rookie running back out of Ohio State. I think he's going to start getting more carries, and he's clearly more dynamic than Gus and Ingram. I don't know why they don't give him the ball, give him a full load yet. But
and how did your guy end up last week, Gage?
He had 6 receptions for 43 yards, a touchdown, but he also threw a touchdown that Julio Jones dropped. So.
Well, so they used him pretty much. They've used him well. That's a lot better than my call of Paris Campbell. One run for 7 yards that was out of the game. So hopefully you didn't take my advice on that one. It took more Tyler's. So you look at maybe you don't know you're gambling, but you did much better with your fantasy football.
Who's your fantasy pick of the week?
So the guy you want to stay away from this week. the guy I would go with, is gonna go DJ Swift from the Lions. The thing I worry about him
not DJ, it's DeAndre
or DeAndre. Well, I'm calling him DJ. I know him personally, so I call him DJ Swift.
He's a personal friend.
Me and him, a personal friend. I texted him the other day before we went on here, and so anyways, DeAndre.
So 2 rookie running backs.
Yeah, I'm going to take him in this. I think the only thing I'd worry about with him is possibly like they get to the 1 or 2 yard line. I could see like Peterson and that I forget the other guy's name, taking on like those stats there. But he does tend to get. They're playing the Cardinals too, and I think they can fall down. I think and he's kind of their the catching running back out of the backfield too. So I could see him having a pretty good game there. So I'm going to go with him as the fantasy sleeper or however you look at it, the fantasy stay away guy for week 3 this week. Speaking of fantasy football, I am 2-0 in my league. I had a massive week last week. Thank you, Kyler Murray and Mr. Higbee, the tight end from the Rams. Very, very nice of both of you guys to perform very well. I beat Dark Horse, or in fantasy football, his team name is A Woman Scorn. So I beat him this week, so I'm feeling good. Always beating Dan. How'd you end up last week?
I got in the winning column. Nice 1-1 record. Our teams all finished after the 1:00 game, and we were never more than like 8 points apart like the whole time. Oh, I beat Adam McFarlane, who has never won the championship.
Never. He's
never came in last either.
How many people have actually won the championship in your league? So if you guys have been doing it for like 12 years, like
Frank, me,
like it's like 8 people won it, or it's like
Frank, Brian, me,
you,
Taylor, Chad,
Clint,
Mike.
So it's been spread around.
And that's 7 out of 12.
Your trophy's been well used. Is that how
it's been used and abused?
It's been well used. I love your favorite comment. I don't even know what your trophy looks like, but my mind always goes crazy because you told me that you would hate when you owned it. You're like, I would hate for me to die and somebody find this in my closet there. So you made it seem like it was a weird trophy.
No, that's our last place trophy.
Oh, that's the last place one.
Not the first place trophy.
Okay, I know it's the last place
we've gotten rid of that this year.
Good.
Now the punishment is 5-minute stand-up comedy routine at an open mic.
Who came in last year?
I think I don't know. I don't worry about that.
That seems like it's a videotape that I want to know who that is. That's
they didn't. They got the Devi.
Oh, okay. I was like, hopefully that's out there one year. Well, you might have to change it with COVID restrictions this year. There might have to be a new. Might have to run around the street naked or something like that for whoever gets last place. You might not be able to do the COVID the stand up.
I want to do like a license plate like frame. You have to say I suck at fantasy football or something. Something
not bad.
Like that would suck to drive around with for a year.
All right, let's hear it, Taylor. Let's hear it. Clint, he's giving out ideas right here. Let's hear what's our last place. What's a good last place? Good last place punishment there. I like the comedy one. That's not bad though. But for certain people,
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would one. Yeah,
I don't want to do that shit.
So who do you play this week then?
I need more teed. Adam Johnson. He might have won it too.
I think he's got a lot of winners. I have no idea who.
I don't know if he won it.
I have no idea who Mr. Johnson is. So well,
I gotta give. Back-to-back Adam spankings, hopefully.
Whoa. So that's the fantasy football for this week. What's your guys' league name, though? Ours is Concussion. Is it like some
Jordy Lou presents?
Oh, some weird thing. Okay.
Mike Price's dog.
That's at first, I was going to say it sounds like somebody's grandma's name or something like that. The dog chicken. All right. So that's a football for this week. There should be a lot of good games this week again. I'm looking forward to it. So our picks this week again, it's in. Check them out. We'll keep you updated on the standings. We're gonna take a quick little commercial break here.
Hey,
and,
hold on. We might have a new idea for next week.
Give me the segment.
I'll send out text messages if it happens. No need to go over it now.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm just letting people know.
Format. Yeah, sounds good. We might be getting some of our friends involved on this too. Just keep like a standings of our picks and just make it more fun, basically. But you'll have more info on that next week for sure. So, all right, we're just gonna take a quick little commercial break here. We'll be back with we'll finish up with our baseball segment for the week. All right, and we're back here with we're gonna finish it up here on the Fatboy FadeAway here with the MLB. Last day here of the COVID season. They finished, Tyler. They made it through.
The 60-game sprint.
They did it. Thank you, God. Thank you for making it through. Now finish the
It wasn't looking good for a little bit, but
I was pretty darn fired up at the beginning of the year about it. So I was pretty stressed out about it. And I'm stressed out the last day because of fantasy baseball, and I overthink every little possible thing. So I'm nervous as hell for everything with it all. But we made it. We're here on the last day. The 8 teams in each league making it. We're going to get into the matchups here shortly, kind of which one we're looking forward to, which we think maybe could be like a surprise upset, maybe just kind of some of the things we're looking forward to there. But first, let's get into your team, the Giants. First of all, you weren't sure they would even make the top 8. I know you didn't think they would make the top 8.
I thought there was no chance they'd even be competing to this point. They made all 60 games worthwhile, so I can't complain about the season. I'm actually happy with the way they performed.
So even if you're happy with how they performed, it's still a touch of you would have to be slightly disappointed if they don't get in, because they have lost 3 in a row now. If they lose today.
Yeah.
No, because they won.
Yeah. No, if they lose today, 3 in a row.
Which would be kind of heartbreaking because they only needed to win 1 game that whole time, and they lost that 1 game with Grissom with the walk-off at home, which is a tough one. Thank you, though, for the fantasy.
I was with freaking Daren, Dorado, and Frank again.
A's fans, by the way.
And we're watching the A's game, and Canna hits a walk-off.
Yeah.
So they go and get a drink, and I'm like, all right, I'm taking the Giants game. Like, we don't want to watch this shit. Talk about meaningless games. Like, what do you mean meaningless? It means more than that A's game we just watched. But anyway, and then sure enough, Grissom, 2 minutes later, boom! I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to listen to these fuckers.
All right, let's get nerd baseball here for a second, though. You gotta hate that Kuderad guy. If I was a fan,
oh my god, he's so bad. Why does he still see the 9th inning?
I don't know, but he's kind of like, to me, like a Billy Koch potential.
No. Billy Koch was much better. But
I mean, like that. But Billy Koch had that. It's like, but before he was decent, that's how he was. Like he was just like this guy who, if his first pitch was a strike, you're like, oh, he could be electric. And then if his ball, he hit somebody in the head a couple weeks ago on the Mariners. He was, I mean. Yeah, it was a scary at bat. Like, even like, in like Glenn Kuiper, or not Glenn Kuiper, and Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow are kind of like basically kind of calling out their own guy about his horrible pitching. Like maybe there's something with this guy. So I was surprised that Kapler even had him in the 9th inning. I know he throws hard.
It makes no sense.
You don't want a guy in the 9th inning that walks guys. It's just not.
No, I can't deal with it. I like
unless you're Brian Wilson, I guess.
The lefty guy they have, he's pretty good. Dominican guy. I like the lefty Dominican guy.
Yeah, didn't he?
I can't think of his name. Like what?
He gave up a homer yesterday, didn't he?
I don't know, probably, but he's been good all year.
They've been using Watson a little bit more, I noticed.
Well, Watson's good. I don't know why he wasn't their closer from the beginning.
Just make him from the beginning instead. Yeah,
he's their most experienced. He doesn't get rattled. He throws strikes.
If the Giants do come back and lose this, they probably have blown at least 4 or 5 games. I know they blew 2 to the A's.
Way more than that.
I know they blew 2 to the A's there. The last inning. Who was the closer before that? It was Gott, right?
Yeah, Gott in the beginning. Then he was terrible.
Yeah, those 2 to the A's were horrible. Because they were up like 5-1 in one of them, and then the next one they were up like with 2 outs too. So yeah, so the Giants the scenario is they got to win today. They need the
Brewers
lose. So I'm assuming if the Brewers win and the Giants win, they'll have a playoff matchup, or does it go to a tiebreaker?
I don't know. Those are the rules.
I believe the tiebreaker is – I don't think they're doing a playoff scenarios. I believe the tiebreaker, Tyler, is your record the last 20 days. So whatever your record was the last 20 days or something like that. And if it's tied, it's like common opponent or something like that.
That's one of the stupidest tiebreakers I've ever heard of, but whatever. I mean, the Brewers are listed above them, and they have the same record right now, so I'm sure the Brewers have the tiebreaker.
They might have the tiebreaker there with it. So the Giants, they need the Brewers to lose, obviously, and they need to win. I did want them to get in, though, because I really wanted to see them play the Dodgers in the first round.
I did, too.
I thought it'd be fun because I was thinking about that. That's like one of the biggest rivalries in baseball, and I don't think that's ever happened in our lifetime, that matchup yet in the playoffs.
No, it hasn't in our lifetime.
And then we've had the stupid Yankees-Red Sox like 12 times. It's like
well, that's what happens when you have teams that are good franchises against. Well, Giants and Dodgers have been better lately.
Now the Dodgers are better ran, so they should eventually start to get in. I was thinking though, let's go to my A's here for a second. I know Frankie, and I'd be interested to get Daren Dorado's opinion on, because you said he's a big A's fan, right? Decent A's fan. I don't feel good about their playoff chances. Like, I just don't feel good about them. I feel like if they win, it's the only thing they have going for them is that they would be winning in the same way they won in 1989 with no parade available because of COVID and because of the earthquake. They couldn't do the parade. They're like, that's my only scenario I see similar with those things. Like, I just look at their lineup and they just don't hit. They bat like 220 as a team. They're ninth in home runs. So they're not. Last year they were like fourth in home runs, and they batted like 230. So, but that's a difference when you're hitting that many more home runs. They're down. I mean, they have Rex Grossman batting third for him right now. Canna's batting fifth. Olsen's just so hit or miss. I mean, yeah, if he could get hot maybe for 2 weeks, that's our chance. But he strikes out so much. The A's as a team strike out so much that in the postseason, I just fully believe in you need speed. You need guys that make contact, and the A's just don't have that. They don't have guys that make enough contact, and they're missing Chapman now, which might play to their advantage in some sets because they have La Stella who makes more contact, but they need his defense is so good. You'd rather have it out there for that than anything. So I don't know. I'd be curious if they had left a comment or something like that. I don't feel the same way that maybe the other people do about the A's. I feel nervous about them going into it again. I don't know who's their ace.
That's where I'm more concerned about the A's. I don't think they don't have that pitcher that like scares you, like that can strike out 12 or. No,
it's like Bassett's pitching well, but it's like is Bassett scary? It's like no. Like,
they don't have the Verlander, the Scherzer, the.
Well, let's say, for example, they play the Astros.
Right
now, this leads to our playoff matchups. Let's get into that, right? Okay, so let's get into our possible playoff matchups. We'll start with the A's since we're kind of talking about right there. So what we're going to do here is just kind of go over the matchups and kind of ones we're looking forward to. But let's start with the A's. So right now the A's would play the Astros. I actually think I was a little worried if they were 2 and they played the Indians at 7. I actually thought that was a kind of a worse matchup.
Matchup?
Because I think the Indians have much better pitching, and the A's, like I said, don't make contact. So they would probably strike out. I mean, Bieber would probably have like 15 strikeouts that first game against them, and they would probably lose like 1-0. So it looks like they're pretty good in that number 3 spot if they lose today. So hopefully they lose. The Twins are at the 2 spot. So it'd be A's, Astros. I'm not saying that's an easy matchup, but I'd rather face the Astros pitching than Indians pitching. But that also leads to my point that the Astros pitching with McCullers Jr. and I forget how you pronounce his other name. It's like Ugati or something like that, and then Greinke. I mean, their pitchers are rotations probably better than the A's rotation, right?
That's better stuff. But you have a way better bullpen.
We do, but.
Which helps.
It does help in that regard, but that's my concern. I think it would be nice to have the A's play the Astros. I think that is a good matchup though in that first round. Like that's a good way to settle it.
Well, the Astros going to the World Series, so
we'll see. All right, so let's get into the AL matchups here. So it looks like Tampa Bay versus Toronto. That's going to be on NBA TV. No, I'm just kidding. That's going to be like the one that's on. That's going to be on the. What is that going to be on TSN Plus? That'll be on that.
It won't be aired.
That'll be a very low-rated series, is my guess.
TBS with Ernie Johnson.
That's the guarantee. That's the 10 a.m. start game or 9 a.m. start game. No doubt about it. That's the first game. Tuesday will be kind of cool too, where you have like
I actually want to
6
see
games
Toronto
going.
though.
Yeah, they're kind of exciting. That Gurriel Jr. got hurt yesterday, so hopefully he'll be able to get back and play in the series. Because Vlad Guerrero will be in there too, and Biggio and Bichette, all the father sons on that team. I just don't think they have the starting pitching but they do have Rue, so he could probably pitch well enough against Snell. That'd be a good first matchup. 2-7, Minnesota and Cleveland. That would be a dogfight matchup too. Remember, this is best of 3 as well. All games would be played at the favorites' home park. So that game 1 is obviously beyond critical. So we got Minnesota versus Cleveland, A's, Astros, and then the series of them all, obviously, would be White Sox versus Yankees.
Yeah.
That would be – obviously the Yankees are a name. But the White Sox, to me, have the most exciting young team in the league just based on some of their hitters. So
with Eloy and Roberts and Tim Anderson.
And Abreu.
Then you put Abreu in there.
And Grandal.
Yeah, there. Grandal's good.
That
Andrew Vaughn in the future.
Yeah, we got big Andrew Vaughn on the future there. So I think that's a good series there out of them all. So I don't know. That's the matchup there. Anyone that you're particularly looking forward to there?
The one you named.
Yeah.
White Sox, Yankees just stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. The other ones, I'm pretty sure the league's like, gosh, those are horrible rating. They're like, why do the White Sox have to play the Yankees? They're like mix this up a little bit more.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they don't look happily upon the White Sox like we do. Like, the league probably doesn't care about those. They're like, why are the Red Sox sucky this year?
Yeah, no, that's true. So, all right, let's get in the National League then. So, right now it would be Dodgers, Brewers. We're really hoping for Dodgers, Giants. I mean,
that's the one.
That's the one we want to see, obviously. Kind of one I think the NL has much more interesting matchups. The Braves, Cincinnati would be kind of the good one. That'd be kind of an interesting matchup. The Braves
are just always fun to watch. So, did you see the home run?
Yes.
Acuna hit oh my God. Talk about just him, Tatis, are just the league's in good hands for.
I'm worried about Dark Horse's team in the future winning championships. He has Soto, Tatis Jr., and the guy you just mentioned that we just
Acuna?
Acuna. Oh no, he doesn't have him, thank God.
Yeah, he doesn't have Acuna.
He has Tatis and Soto. I think Soto's the best hitter in baseball. I don't think it's
right now.
I don't even think it's close. I mean, he has the most hits this year too. So I mean, he's.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think he's the best. I think he's the best hitter going forward.
Okay, maybe going forward, but just right this instant, Trout's the best hitter.
Well, I mean, he still bats his average is higher. He he has a better OPS than Trout. I just feel like his at bats are a little bit better too at this point. I feel like Trout's getting a little stale too in Los Angeles. I really feel like it'd be fun to see him leave.
That's why I was so disappointed when he signed that contract. I was like, what are you doing? Like, this team blows. They've never done anything for you.
Need more juice, man. It's like he's not playing in any big games.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like when you don't play in any big games, it's really hard to I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, how do we judge him the same? It's like, I don't know. Obviously, he's still great. But it'd be awesome. But it'd be awesome to see him do it in the postseason.
I agree. I ripped when he signed the contract. I was like, I don't get it. This sucks.
Cubs, Marlins. Does that excite you?
No.
That does not excite me.
I hate the Cubs, and the Marlins are nobodies.
And then this is kind of an interesting one. San Diego, St. Louis.
It's a good one. St. Louis is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
St. Louis. It doesn't even matter about the regular season. They're
not even in yet.
They always show up in the playoffs. That's true.
And St. Louis they're not even in yet. They're the 5 seed. So I mean, if they lose today, they kind of have. They're gonna. Let's say they lose, right? The weird thing that what's kind of at stake. We didn't talk about it is this Tigers Cardinals potential doubleheader on Monday.
Yeah.
Since they didn't make up 2 games, it's just kind of a weird little scenario there.
Hopefully the Cardinals just win. I don't want to deal with that.
Don't you want the Giants to win and the Brewers to lose, right?
Yeah, that's
the
what
scenario.
I want to
That's the scenario. So The Dodgers, man, they are. I was thinking about their lineup because obviously I have 4 guys on my team too, but like their lineup, they don't bet. You have Betts, you have Seager, but then I kind of look at the other guys like
Bellinger,
Turner. Yeah, but even Bellinger, like I know he won MVP last year, but he's batting like 7th this year, 6th. He's kind of struggling a little bit, and he's struggling mightily.
Yeah,
he's starting to pick it up. He's trying to pick it up a little bit more. Muncy struggled, but he's a good hitter. Taylor, it's like some of these guys like Taylor, Muncy, Turner, like they're all good hitters, but I feel like they're not like names. They're just like solid baseball players which makes their lineup so deep amongst 9 guys when you add their Seagers and their Betts is in there and their Bellinger. It's like
they have a lineup that's built for like you have guys that do certain things. Maybe, like Taylor will work a count, like build the pitchers, and he still can hit when he needs to like hit, but he's not just gonna make a first pitch out. And Turner's the same way. They're all tough at bats where they'll extend at bats the pitches add up, and then you get to the early bullpen where you're not very good normally, and so
they got these
daunting to deal with.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing what you just said was they know how to hit, so they're constantly working the pitcher. Like they're usually always in the favorite count. They always take healthy hacks. I feel like they're never really getting fooled. And if I was a Red Sox fan, I mean, how do you trade Mookie Betts? I mean, like you're making you're the Red Sox. You have to be making plenty of money for God's sakes.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you justify that if you're a Red Sox fan? Like. He's got to be one of your best position players in the last like 50 years, and you just get rid of him for nothing. For basically, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some good players that come out of that trade.
Well, I don't know about 50 years, but I mean, Manny was there, and
Manny wasn't as good of player as Betts, like all around.
He's
like, Betts
better than Betts.
I don't know.
Manny's a top 2 hitter of his generation, 3 hitter of his generation.
I think that is all said.
Bonds, Pujols, and Manny, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, Betts does more stuff.
All-around better. Yeah, his offensive stats probably at the end of the day won't add up to Manny's, but they probably won't be – they're probably not going to be like way off, and he's a much better fielder.
Yeah, but I'd take the offensive stats over the fielder.
That would be my argument. But his offensive stats aren't horrible.
But I mean, no, they're not horrible at all. They're really good. But Manny's are – out of this world of some years. But Betts also came up through that organization. Well, he might have been drafted by someone else, but his first game was on the Red Sox. So.
Yeah, he won MVP there. He's won a World Series.
Yeah, so that's where Manny started in Cleveland. And
yeah, and the thing Manny has going for him over him is that Manny has the time. He's already put it in. We know his stats. His numbers are great right now. He was clutch and stuff like that. Betts has time to prove. I just think he all around he was probably a better player all around. Offensively, Manny was obviously they're different hitters, but Betts is still like he always seems to be right there in the top of the home run list somehow.
Well, enough about these fucking Red Sox. I hate the Red Sox.
All right,
but yeah, Betts is very good. I'm not.
Well, we're more talking about Manny. That's what it's
true.
I'll say this. Manny Ramirez, though, just to finish on him. He was one of the biggest pain in the ass at bats because as being an A's fan, we played them many times in the playoffs. I did not look forward to them playing.
He could hit to any part of the field. You couldn't put a switch on or whatever.
And he was clutch. He got better.
He just square everything up.
Better. Yeah, as the situation became more important, he just became better too. So that always.
And you knew it wasn't going to get. You knew the situation or like the moment was going to get too big. He probably didn't even like realize half the time like. You never had a carefree.
Oh my gosh!
Remember how bad his pants were and like his jersey.
My favorite moment is when he cut off Johnny Damon's throw from left field. he dove midway in the outfield, like cut it off. The triple relay, Damon.
If you are gonna cut off an outfielder throw in the outfield, it would be Johnny Damon's at least.
Fair enough.
Him and Coco Crisp.
Fair enough. That's funny. All right, so that's our baseball, man. End of the year, we made it through. Giants, let's see what happens. Fantasy baseball, I'm sweating already right now. My palms are sweaty, getting nervous.
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Do I sit Aaron Nola? That's so many questions today. So many questions, so many answers. H-Town.
I wish you luck, Daren.
Thank you, my friend. All right, it was fun today. good podcast today. I hope everybody joins it. Like and subscribe below. Have a good Sunday. Enjoy the football out there. We'll
New
see you guys,
details on the betting coming soon.
Yeah, new details. Follow us over at Fatboy FadeAway, and we'll follow our standings here. How we're doing. Tyler's gonna have a new scenario set up for us next week. How we're gambling a little bit. So good luck, everybody. Make your money this week. Peace.
Later.
Later.